All right, let's check out equations of tangent and normal lines. So if I look at this first question, it's going to almost seem silly. What is the equation for a line with a given point, x1, y1, and slope of m? So you're writing the equation of a line. Now I know that when I first say that, if I said, what's the equation of a line, probably most of you would say y equals mx plus b, because that's pretty much the one you use the most in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2. I will tell you, you need a new best friend, and that is point slope form. Because of course with y equals mx plus b, you have to have the y-intercept, whereas point slope, you can have any point, and so that just makes it a lot better for you. So if you remember what that equation is, it's y minus the y-coordinate of your point is equal to slope x minus the x-coordinate. Obviously, if I wanted to change it to mx plus b, I could distribute and simplify, but this is the equation of a line that you're going to probably use most often in calculus. So what does this question say? Find the equation of the line tangent to the graph of y equals 1 minus x squared at x equals 3. Well, let's draw out what that's saying. We all know what 1 minus x squared looks like. Looks like this. And this, of course, is at 1, but not that I really care about that. So I'm asking at 3, which would be somewhere over here, I'm asking what is not only the slope of this tangent line, the equation of the tangent line. So I want the equation of that line. Well, what do I need? I need a point and I need a slope. Now it doesn't matter which order you go in, I tend to find my point first. And again, look at my notation, how you write stuff down. You label everything. So I need to find the y-coordinate at 3. So y of 3, I'd probably do that in my head. I can plug that in my head. So y of 3 would be negative 8. What does that mean? That means my point is 3, negative 8. So I've got that. Now I need the slope of that line. Well, what is that? The slope of the tangent line is the derivative. Oh my goodness. So I need y prime of 3. Gosh, if I only knew how to do that. And you do, because it's what we did yesterday. That's going to be the limit as x approaches 3 of f of x. Here's another reason why I do f of 3 first, because I'm going to need it here. Remember, minus 8 would be plus 8 over x minus 3, which is the limit as x goes to 3. That's really 9 minus x squared, which I could factor one more step into 3 plus x and 3 minus x over x minus 3. And remember, when I have a factor that's just opposite of each other, I can cancel them out. I just have to remember to put a negative. It's like I'm factoring out a negative 1. And when I put in 3, I get negative 6. Now, be careful, what's my answer? My answer is not negative 6. It says the equation of the line. So now that I have my point and my slope, I'm going to plug into this formula. Y minus the y-coordinate is equal to slope x minus the x-coordinate, and I stop right there. I do not simplify it. Now, granted, if it's multiple choice and they had it in point slope, or rather mx plus b, then yes, I'd mess with it. But on free response, know when you can stop, and stop right there. So the equation of this line is this equation right here. Cool? So cool. So you try example 2. All right. This one, they were nice. They gave you the point, didn't they? They gave you the point, so sweetness. All I need to do, I'll write down the point. I feel like I'm just recopying it, but okay. I have that, and now I need what? I need f prime at 1. And that would be the limit as x goes to 1 of f of x minus f of 1, which was 2, over x minus 1. Now, how did we do these limits last unit? We multiplied by, got rid of that complex fraction, and really the only thing in the denominator, if I made all those fraction, was just x. So I'm going to multiply by x over x. So I'd have limit as x goes to 1. I'm going to distribute, so that would be 2 minus 2x over x times x minus 1. And then I could factor a little bit more. And I could even factor out a negative 2, so they'd be exactly the same, but whatever. So that would be negative 1 plus x, or x minus 1. And once again, that factor cancels, boom and boom. So I plug in the negative 2, plug in 1 and get negative 2. So I get f prime at 1 is negative 2, and my job is almost done. There's my point, there's my slope. Y minus the y coordinate is equal to slope x minus the x coordinate. And that is my equation of the tangent line. I could always graph it. Remember, that's the inverse function that kind of does this. So I'm finding the slope right here. So it makes sense that the slope is negative. I can kind of see that. So I certainly am not saying that you need to draw a picture on every one. I just, again, want you to understand what it is you're actually doing. All right, last example. The last example says find the equation of the, what does that say? We've got to be careful, of the normal line. Okay, what is a normal line? I am going to draw this one. So here's what we're going to do. Here's your function. X cubed minus 5 is a little snaky guy through there. So the tangent line, if this is at negative 1, okay, your tangent line is, of course, this line that's kind of doing this. That's what you just were finding the equation of. This one, you have to read carefully. Which one are they wanting you to find? This said find the equation of the normal line. Now, if you didn't know what that was, here's what you have to know. The normal line is perpendicular to tangent line. That's what a normal line is. So you're actually going to do the exact same steps as you did on the two problems before. And then at the very end, you're going to make a change. So let's do the steps that we did before. I need a point, so I'm going to do f of negative 1. F of negative 1 is negative 6. I need the derivative at negative 1, so that is going to be the limit as x approaches c of f of x. I think you're okay with me. Well, I won't do it. I was going to say do it in all one step. Well, you're smart enough. I can do that. So it'd be x cubed minus 5 minus a negative 6. Hopefully you follow me how I get that. Don't you dare cancel those x's and those 1's right there. That would be so bad. That's like total math bad there. I need to factor using my cubic formula. So that'd be x plus 1, x squared minus x plus 1 over x plus 1. These cancel, boom, boom. And then when I plug in, I get f prime of negative 1 would be positive 1 plus, 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 so that would be 3. Okay, here's your change. Here is still your point. The point that that line goes through is still negative 1, 6. 3 is the slope of which line? That's the slope of the tangent line. Well, what do you know about slopes of perpendicular lines? They have opposite reciprocal slopes. So here's the only difference. When I go to write my answer, I go y minus y coordinate, so that's going to be y plus 6, is equal to. When I do the slope, instead of putting 3, I'm going to put the opposite, so negative, and I'm going to flip x minus x coordinate. That is the only difference. When it says normal line, I don't put the number that's right here. I take the opposite reciprocal, and boom, shakalaka, I have the slope of the normal line. And it's just that easy, folks. So that's what you will be doing on your homework for the evening.